Has anyone else on this app been addicted to Xanax or benzodiazepines or anything like that? Because I know I was, and I was addicted to them for about 5 years. And those were probably the most mentally torturous years of my life. I mean, the anxiety and paranoia only got higher because I relied on them so heavily. And I thought, if I don't take this amount of Xanax, then I'm going to be anxious and I'm going to make a fool out of myself. And with that mindset, it just spiraled into more and more other things. So this one night, the first night I took my first Xanny, I was drinking with my partner, and a mate messaged me who was a drug dealer, and he was at this local pub in Sydney's inner west, Fairfield, and he was playing the pokies, and this was at like midnight. And he must have been up for a couple of days because he was getting into his own supply of coke. And at the same time, he was taking Xanax, which is probably one of the worst things you can do for your heart. But anyways, I decided to buy some off him. So I met up with him at the pub and I took him to his house. As we stopped at the front of his house, he offered me a line of coke. And I thought, why not? Free drugs. So that was my mindset at the time. And anyways, he gave me the Xanax, gave me a couple extra because he was in such a good mood. And that night I took my first Xanax and I completely blacked out. I had no recollection of what I did or said, only God knows. And the next day I woke up, a few hours later I was having lunch with my parents, and at the time I was quite an anxious person. I never felt safe around other people. I was always visibly nervous. And whilst I was interacting with my parents, especially my dad, I noticed I was calmer and more grounded. And as a result, the connection was better between me and him. And I thought, what's different? And I remember the night before I took a Xanny, and it must have carried over into the next day. So I thought, if this drug can make social situations better like this, why don't I keep taking it? Why don't I continue to try this, let's say before work or before social situations? So I did, and it worked. I was usually afraid of meeting new people, and I took them before doing so, and it made a big difference. In my mind, I thought. So anyways, I started taking them for everything, and it was really good for the first couple of months. I was very grounded and content. But the thing is that my memory was so bad. And I must have looked so drowsy in front of other people. So it sort of worked, but it didn't. And anyways, I started selling Xanax to my mates and other people. And this drug caused the most damage out of all the drugs I took and sold, including physical damage. Because it makes you so confident on the outside. But in reality, you have no idea what you're doing. It makes you that confident that you can have 10 beers, have a couple of Xannies on top, and think it's okay to get behind the wheel. It gives you that much confidence to think that you can drive perfectly behind a moving vehicle, risking the lives of others. And in saying this, I had 3 mates write off their cars from the Xanax that I sold to them. I wrote off my partner's car. I was going 40 k's into a stopped car at a red light. And I only realized at the last second my reaction time was that bad that I braked from 60 k's to 40 k's and I smashed into this car at 40 k's an hour. Thank God no one was hurt. But that's the kind of confidence it gave me. And another time I sold Xanax to a mate who was also a dealer, and he sold these Xannies to his customer who drank 10 beers that night. He took 2 Xanax and he decided to get behind the wheel. He rode off 2 cars and he ran his car into a house. And I don't know if anyone got hurt, but I heard that from my mate and I couldn't help but feel so shit because I was the one who effectively passed it down to him. And then I had another mate who started taking these for depression because he was going through a hard time at the time. And he stopped going to the gym completely. We used to train together. He was quite fit. And he just started gaining weight. He gained probably 60 to 70 kilos and became obese. And all he did was take Xannies and play video games. And of course, I couldn't help but feel like I had a part to play in that. So Xanax has been the worst drug that I've ever taken and sold. It took me 5 years to taper down. 5 freaking years to get off it completely. Because I had the belief that I needed to be on it. It did my head in that badly that I thought I needed it for every single social situation. I needed it for work. I needed to take it on my lunch break. It had my mind trapped. So it took me 5 years to get off completely. And since then, I've found God. And I'm not going to turn this into a Bible bashing video. This is just my experience. I found God. And once I found God, I realized this was what I was looking for my entire life. This was that external fulfillment that I was looking for my entire freaking life. And it's been 10 to 11 months now since giving my life to Christ. And my life is completely transformed. So if you can relate in any way to addiction, to trauma, to anxiety, social anxiety, maybe this video will help you. My solution to all of that was Christ. Because Christ can give you the social confidence. Christ can give you the calmness, the groundedness, the safety. He can give you everything to fix you. And that's what he did for me. So I'm so blessed. I'm so happy. So if you can relate in any way, give it a shot. Why not? Just say, Jesus, please forgive me of my sins. I give my life to you. Please fix it. And just see what happens. It's worth a shot. Anyways, I love you all and God bless.